Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty relevant for a lot of us, dating and relationships.
Yes, specifically how using a journal can play a role. We've been looking at the Journal Notebook for Dating and Love Life from Stallion.
Right. And, your first thought might be a journal for my love life. Kind of seems a bit, I don't know, structured.
Maybe, but hear us out. The core idea is that this kind of dedicated journal can be, well, a really powerful tool
How so?
for understanding relationship patterns, for
Mhm.
starters,
Mhm.
and processing all those tricky emotions that come up.
Okay. And the goal is ultimately a better love life, right?
Exactly. So our mission today is to explore how using a journal, and yeah, we'll touch on some specific Stallion features, can help you navigate the complexity.
The ups and downs.
Precisely. And look, journaling about feelings isn't exactly revolutionary. We get that.
Sure.
But we want to dig into why it can be so effective, especially when you've got a notebook kind of designed with this stuff in mind.
Okay, let's dive in. Relationships need work, right? Emotional awareness, talking things through.
Intentional effort, definitely. And what's interesting is how just writing things down can boost that self-awareness
And that connects to your relationships. How?
directly. Better self-awareness leads to stronger connections. Doesn't matter if you're single, dating, or in something long-term.
It's like a practice space.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's a safe, private place to explore your own feelings first
Mm.
before you dump them on your partner, maybe unprepared.
Yeah. Good point. So it improves how you communicate eventually.
Massively. You get clearer in your own head first.
And Lestallion mentions their paper quality here, the 120 GSM ivory pages. Does paper really matter that much?
Well, think about it. If you're trying to untangle something complex, something emotional, having nice, smooth, thick paper, it kind of encourages clearer thinking, doesn't it?
I suppose so. Less frustrating than scratchy paper, anyway.
Right. It makes the whole process feel more intentional, less like a chore. You're creating a space, physically and mentally, for focus.
Okay, I can see that. It supports the reflection.
Exactly. And let's connect this to common problems people face, things Stallion brings up. Communication breakdowns are huge.
Oh, yeah. Or just not realizing why you react a certain way. Emotional unawareness?
That's a big one. Trust issues, busy schedules, pulling couples apart, all that stuff.
So how does writing help there?
Journaling lets you step back. You can analyze those patterns, maybe those negative cycles you keep falling into.
Like seeing it written down makes it more obvious.
Totally. You can start to pinpoint triggers, understand your own communication style, maybe even your partner's a bit better.
Mm.
It gives you clarity.
Okay, so Lestallion talks about the journal as a therapeutic tool. That sounds quite significant.
It can be. Think about emotional processing, just writing out raw feelings without judgment. That alone can lower stress about conflicts.
Just getting it out.
Yeah. And then there's tracking patterns, recording experiences, good and bad. You start to see habits, maybe things you want to change or things you want more of.
It's like data collection for your heart.
Sort of. But it makes feelings less nebulous. Writing them down gives them form.
Something you can actually look at.
Right. Which leads straight into improving communication. Once you've processed it on paper, you're usually calmer, clearer.
Ready for a more productive conversation.
Exactly. And the last point they raise is setting relationship goals.
Okay.
Using the journal to figure out what you expect, what you want to build. Intimacy, trust. What steps can you take?
And Lestallion has that built-in table of contents. I remember seeing that. Seems like a small detail, but...
But it's actually really useful for this, right? Imagine tracking progress on a specific issue or revisiting how you felt about something months ago.
Yeah, you can see your own growth. Or recurring themes. It builds a narrative.
Precisely. It's not just venting. It's developing emotional intelligence. Intentional journaling helps you see patterns, practice gratitude, even envision a future together.
So it really fosters that self-awareness piece.
Which is the foundation for everything else, really. Trust, empathy, real intimacy, reflecting on the past, your actions, your words, helps you understand your impact.
And Lestallion mentions the ivory pages again here, but focusing on the lack of digital distraction.
Yeah, that's a key point in today's world, isn't it? No pings, no notifications, just you and your thoughts. It's a different kind of space.
Yeah.
A sanctuary, like you said earlier.
Makes sense. Creates focus.
Mm-hmm. And they also talk about the feel of the journal itself. The soft faux leather cover, that kind of thing.
Does the cover matter beyond looking nice?
Well, the tactile experience can make a difference, If it feels good to hold, It makes the act of journaling feel a bit more special, more like self-care, less like homework.
Right, it elevates the experience, makes it feel important.
Exactly. And the line pages, the 7.5 millimeter ones,
Mm.
they give you structure without being too rigid. Keeps things neat when you're maybe pouring out messy feelings.
Good balance.
Yeah.
And the back pocket.
Oh, yeah. That's just handy. Tuck in a note, a photo, a ticket stub from a date you want to reflect on later. It makes a journal a little keepsake box, too.
A little archive of your journey, like you said.
Yeah. This reminds me of my friend Sarah. She felt stuck, always attracting guys who weren't quite right for her. Just unsatisfying dates, one after another.
Okay.
So she started journaling after each date, really systematically. I can totally see how those line pages would help her organize her thoughts because they were all over the place.
What did she write about?
What she thought she wanted versus what actually happened on the date. What felt good, what felt off.
And did it help?
Big time. She started seeing this pattern where she'd people please too much, ignore little red flags because she didn't want to rock the boat. Seeing it written down made it undeniable.
Wow. So the journal helped her see her own behavior.
Exactly. And realizing that helped her change her approach, be more assertive about her needs. And yeah, she eventually found someone much more compatible.
That's a great story. It really shows the power of that reflection.
It does. It makes me think of my sister and her husband, actually. They hit a rough patch, communication-wise, both super busy with work, just kind of missing each other.
Been there.
Right. So they tried journaling, but separately. Just writing down their own feelings, needs, frustrations, whatever was on their mind about the relationship that week.
Okay. Interesting approach. Individually first.
Yeah. And then they'd use their entries as like talking points.
Hmm.
And I can totally see how that Listallian table of contents would be gold here, right?
Yeah.
To find entries about recurring arguments or specific topics.
Oh, definitely. Track the issue over time.
Exactly. So instead of just reacting emotionally in the heat of the moment, they could say, look, I wrote about this feeling last month too. Here's what I was thinking.
So it made conversations less volatile, more
Yep.
constructive.
Way more. It helped them understand each other's perspectives better.
Yeah.
And yeah, they worked through it. Really strengthened the things between them.
That's powerful too, using it as a communication aid.
And one more quick one. A friend went through a really tough breakup. Just gutted.
Mm.
She started journaling a lot. And she actually mentioned the feel of her Listallian notebook. The nice paper. Felt kind of comforting, like a solid place to put all the messy, painful stuff.
A safe container for the grief.
Kinda, yeah. And through writing consistently, she started to unpack her role and how things went down, not just blaming him. Figured out what she learned, what she wanted differently next time.
So it became a tool for self-discovery, even in pain.
Absolutely. Healing and learning.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the main takeaway seems pretty clear. A dedicated journal, especially one like the Listallian notebook with these thoughtful features built in,
Yeah.
it really can be a valuable ally.
Yeah, a companion for navigating dating and love. It's a space for deeper self-awareness, better communication.
Understanding your patterns, building intimacy.
All of that. It provides structure and safety for the inner work.
So the final thought for you listening is, how could intentionally reflecting on your experiences, your emotions, in a dedicated space like this, how might that shift your view on relationships?
Could it lead you towards more meaningful connections? Maybe think about one small step you could take. Maybe just getting a notebook. Maybe just writing one thing down today.
Food for thought. And if you want prompts or more ideas, there are tons of resources out there for relationship journaling.
For sure. But for now, that's our deep dive.
Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time.